another Talk About It Tuesday. And as usual, we have a phenomenal question. It's a question that I think will kick off the movement. The movement this year is Financial Freedom Now. And anybody in this group who wants to be financially free, who puts in the work, I'm going to guarantee you that you get there with a whole lot of support and help from not only me, but everybody in this group. So here's the question. Regarding my retirement, I have 6.5 more years to retire from the city. But of course, I want to act on financial freedom now because tomorrow is not promised. What are the key points I can start right away with? Thanks. Great question. I think we need to start off with an explanation again of what financial freedom is, because there's an objective aspect of financial freedom and a subjective aspect of financial freedom. And objectively, it's simply when your passive income, and that's income derived from things other than a job. So a few examples: rental income is passive income. Business ownership, not self-employed, not multi-level marketing, business ownership where others primarily do the work for you, is passive income. Let me see, securities, investing in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, crowd source aspects like lending club, things like that. That's passive income. So when your passive income streams cover all of your expenses, you are financially free. That's very objective, right? That means anybody can do that. It's cut and dry, really simple. But there's a subjective aspect to it because everybody's expenses are different, and everybody's expenses are based upon the lifestyle that they want to live. So the number that you'll have to reach in terms of passive income will be vastly different from someone else depending on the type of lifestyle you want to live. So if you have a lifestyle that requires, $30,000 a month to sustain, then the amount of passive income that you have to create is much greater than somebody who has a lifestyle that they can sustain on $5,000 a month. So there's an objective aspect to it and a subjective aspect to it. So on the journey to financial freedom, before you get started, there's two things actually that you need to know. The first thing is exactly where you are, and the second thing is exactly where you need to go. So let me explain that a little further. When I say where you are, it's taking an accurate assessment of exactly where you are financially without judgment. And that's important when I say without judgment. And why do I say without judgment? It is not your fault, and it was not your choice. Despite what you might think, it is not your fault, and it was not fully your choice to be where you are today. Did you make some choices? Yes. But a big aspect of freedom is choice. And to have choice means you had to have knowledge and access to all of the relevant information to be able to make a good choice for yourself. That's freedom. And when I say you didn't have all of the relevant and accurate information, why is that? Because all of the institutions that we live under have geared you and steered you in a particular direction. And so what does that mean? Let's look at the educational institution. You spent the most formative years of your life being trained and steered in a particular direction. I remember when I was in school, I asked my teacher, why do we have to go to school? And my teacher said, so you can become a productive member of society. That's what I was told. So you can become a productive member of society. And what did that mean to my instructor? And what did that mean to the institution? That upon graduation, you would have the requisite skills to be able to enter the workforce and earn a salary. They didn't say so you can become an investor. They didn't say so you can become a business owner. They didn't say, so you can own real estate. They said so you can become a productive member of society, meaning that you can get a job. So how much time did you spend doing that? Kindergarten, first grade, all the way through 12th grade. Some of you went to college, another 4 to 5 years. Some of you went to grad school, another 2 to 3 years. So you spent a good 16 to 20 years being geared and steered towards being a worker, not financially free, but financially dependent upon a job. So even though you might have chosen the job that you have, you didn't really have enough information to decide whether or not you wanted a job or you wanted to be an investor or something different. So without judgment, And that's just the educational institution. We can talk about the all the economic institutions. We can talk about the government institutions. We can talk about the social institutions because your family and your friends and they all contributed to that also. So every institution that we live by has driven you to a particular point in your life, and that life is really unsustainable. And so freedom is the only option. So first thing, you have to figure out where you are. So you can go objective again with where you are. There's only a few places. I created what I call a ladder of success. You're either indebted, which most people are. And when I say indebted, I mean bad debt, meaning you're carrying debt that's not being paid off by what you borrowed for. So, for instance, when I say good debt, if I borrow money to buy a piece of real estate and the rental income pays off or services the debt and it puts money in my pocket, that's good debt. If I buy a car and it just depreciates in value and I'm paying a car note on it as it depreciates in value, that's probably bad debt unless you're using the car to create income that's, again, servicing the debt. Credit card debt in general is bad debt because you buy something with the credit card. If you don't pay it off immediately, it accumulates a massive amount of interest, which means you're paying far more for the same piece of item that's depreciated again over time. So bad debt most people have. I say student loan debt is bad debt because it's not really covering the debt. Student loan debt is a major thing. Credit card debt, other types of loans. If you're carrying debt, when you look at the amount of interest on a debt, it's far greater than any income that you can get from most investments. So you're indebted, that's the lowest level on this ladder of success. Then debt free, that's the next level. After debt free, I have what we call income creating. Now, income creating can start at any level. That means you're creating passive income streams. The passive income streams can be used to service the debt, but you cannot become what's next on the level, which is financially free, until you create passive income that meets your expenses. Once you've done that and you continue to make money beyond your expenses, I say you're wealthy because you've created a surplus. I'll write this in the comment section so that it's real clear. So you're either indebted, debt-free, income creating, financially free, or wealthy. That's the ladder of success. So you know where you're starting from. The next thing you have to decide is exactly where you want to go. You can't create a plan until you know accurately where you are and exactly where you want to go. And any Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts here, if you've ever gone camping and tried to use a compass and you were just a fraction off, a hair off, you end up miles away from where you think you're going. And it's the same thing when you're trying to create a strategy to be financially free. You have to know exactly where you are and exactly where you want to go. So what does it mean exactly where you want to go? That means you have sat down and created in your mind a vivid picture of the lifestyle that you want to live. And so that means how you're going to control your time, where you want to live, who you want to do it with, the type of things you want around you, the activity, everything. You've sat down and you've had a clear picture of exactly what your lifestyle is. I'm not talking about how you're going to make the money. I'm talking about exactly how your lifestyle is going to be. And then once you decide the lifestyle that you want, you have to do some research and figure out what it costs to finance such a lifestyle. So if you're going to take 3 trips a year, 2 global, 1, local or national, then what does it cost to go to these places? You got to put a price tag to it. If you're going to work in your business or in your real estate 3 days a week and take the rest of the week off and do, I don't know, whatever it is you do, what does it cost to do that? If you want to live in a certain place, what does it cost to purchase a home there, to pay the mortgage there? If you want to eat a particular diet, I'm very particular on what I eat. What is it that it costs to sustain the type of diet that you want to eat? If you want to do certain activities. So you have to have an idea of what your monthly expenses are going to be, because that will dictate, and not only that, when you want to achieve it by, but that will dictate how much money you need, which will dictate the type of activity or passive income that needs to be created in order to sustain that. Anything that does not produce the outcome that you need financially is a waste of your time. So some people say, well, I'm going to start with this and I'm going to move to that. Well, why would you start with that? Why would you invest the time, energy, and resources into something that's not going to produce the outcome that you need? So I got the Ring doorbell. I guess you guys heard that. So you have to figure out where you are, figure out where you want to go, and then there's a customized plan of action. And the customized plan of action, that's what takes the real work, because there are so many elements that have to go into it. What type of passive income will work best for you, where you are, with the time that's required, with the resources that you have, with economic forces that are outside of you. That takes a specialized skill, and that might take a little help and support, right? And so you can say, I want to do real estate, but real estate might not be good where you are, and you might not have access to it in another state or another country. The type of real estate you might want to do may not be the right type of real estate at that particular time because of economic things that are going on. The same with business. Just because you have a passion for something doesn't mean that that thing will sell right now or provide the type of income that you want. And so, again, it's going back to steps: where you are, where you want to be, and then you might need a little help creating that customized plan of action to figure out exactly how to get to where you want to be. So I hope that was helpful. It's a start. We're going to try to get you there, but you got to start somewhere. So every one of you should be sitting down right now, if you're serious about financial freedom, making an accurate assessment about exactly where you are. Again, indebted, debt-free, income creating, financially free or wealthy, and exactly where you want to go and when you want to get there. Because depending on the time frame you have, and the person asking the question happens to be somewhat lucky, he has 6.5 years. Some people say, I need to do it by next year. If you need to do it by next year, your plan has to be super aggressive, and you have to get a lot of support and a lot of assistance. Where somebody who has 6.5 years has a lot of room for error. You can make some mistakes along the way. You can change out team members. You can create different collaborations. You can, change with the economic times and accumulate over the 6.5 years. So if you have any questions, again, please, or any comments, put them in the comment section. I look forward to the questions and comments, and keep sending the questions in, and I'll see you next week.